enough, under my name at the bulletin board, a list of people that had called already as we were traveling to get back. Under Father Luigi's name, another list of people calling. So I spent the whole afternoon and part of the evening answering phone calls. And meanwhile, the phone calls kept coming in. And guess what? One of the calls that night came from this lady. We never met, but she was listening to the radio station. And she never wrote the number down. She memorized the number. Can you imagine that? In total pain, in total suffering, that gives you the kind of person she was. Yeah. She memorized the phone number. And that night, she called me. And at the beginning, she introduced herself by saying, "What you did today was beautiful. You should do that more often." Well, usually when people call you, when people call a priest, it's to criticize the priest. You should do this, you should do that, bam, bam, bam. What is the church doing these days? Oh, what about the Pope? You know, the church is going to the dogs, you know. All the complaints. This was a compliment. And I'm saying, whoa. I said, well, thank you very much. Who am I talking with? Carmelina. Carmelina, what's up? And we began as an immigrant talking to another immigrant. And we said, no, where you come from? Liveri. I did not know where Liveri was, but she said, close to Naples. Okay, now I know where you come from. When did you come? So we were talking, an immigrant with another immigrant. And then, you know, what do you do for a living? Well, Father, I'm calling from a hospital. And who is sick? See, I thought she was visiting somebody at the hospital. And in the meantime, as they are paying the visit there, she would say, okay, I got a phone call to make, so I make a phone call. It took me at least 3-4 minutes to understand that she was the patient at the hospital. She was not visiting somebody. She was the one that resided. I said, wait a minute, you are not well. No, Father, I'm not well. I have cancer. I'm sorry. No, Father, it's okay. I mean, if you tell me that you have cancer and you have had it for a long time, and then she began telling me they operated on me, they cut my leg, the whole hip has been removed, my right breast is gone, the right leg is a piece of bone surrounded by decaying flesh. They come in, cut the flesh, and throw it out, etc., etc. I mean, I'm going like, who am I talking with? Is she fooling me? Is she trying to build a story? Well, I could see that she was not trying to deceive me in any way. And at the end, I said, can I come and see you? And what made me say that was the wisdom, the way she was talking. And she told me she had only 5 years of education in Italy, the same as I did. When I was in Italy, I came when I was 18 years old. And I had been out of school since grade 5. I was working in the fields. I come from a farming community. We had a farm. When I say farm, well, I'm not sure what you do in the Philippines and the way the Philippines are geographically speaking. Most of Italy is on mountains. There's a chain of mountains up the north and one chain through the whole peninsula. So there's only very little flat land like this. When I came from, there were 2 directions, up and down. There was nothing flat. So we start talking about where you come from, what's going on. And she's telling me that she has a fever higher than 41. And I'm saying, is she fooling me? Is she trying to trick me or something? Because it doesn't match. At the end of the story, I said, can I come and see you? Because I knew that she could teach me a few things. And she did. She did indeed. So she said, oh yeah, she gave me the address. And I visited her, and there she was. Except, instead of 2 pillows, would be 1. And instead of a sheet like this, it was a canopy. So that the sheet would not touch her body. Because if it did, it would be bloodied up. The wounds kept bleeding. And she needed transfusions. To make a long story short, everything I'm saying really happened. Actually, I could be here until tomorrow morning, and we will not even be in telling the story. But what did I do? We were asking questions. You know, you come from this. What did you do? She was working in the farm. They cultivated what you call nocciole. It doesn't come to me now. A plant that produces almost like chestnuts, but it's not chestnuts. It's another kind of a nut.